Ministers, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests. I'm honored to be here. I'm talking on behalf of the private sector. And here I would like to applaud the Egyptian government for the efforts that they have done over the last years. If you look at the Egyptian population today is 107 million people. Egypt grows at a rate of 1.8%, which means that we will double this population in the next 40 years. So again, although the achievement was immense, I think we need to do much more. The government really has achieved a lot of investments in infrastructure. I think the roads are at around 7,000 kilometers were built, which made the far cities closer and made us as private sector willing to invest with the Egyptian government. I would like to state here a very important point. Egypt, one of the largest sales of land that was done in Egyptian history, I think it's probably one of the largest in the Middle East, was done by the Emirati sovereign wealth. And this was done in a place called Ras Al Hikma on the north coast in Egypt. And if it wasn't for the roads that were done and invested in by the Egyptian government, I don't think this deal would have come through. Today, this place from Cairo is about 3 hours drive. If these roads were not done, it would have probably been 6 or 7. So this investment would have been impossible. What I'd like to talk about today is mainly two things. One is the Egyptian government and how they changed the methodology of selling land to the private sector to develop to a partnership model that was developed in 2015. And actually, it was developed by His Excellency, the Prime Minister of Egypt, Dr. Mustafa. He was the Minister of Housing at the time in 2015. This model allows Egyptian developers to grow fast, to grow their land bank, to grow their sales, and to put most of the investment and their cash flows in construction rather than putting all this money into the price of the land, which makes much more sense and can grow things much faster. As we know, governments at the end should be the regulator, and it should be left to the private sector to do the necessary investment. As Palm Hills, which is the company that I present, and I'm the chairman of, we started in 2015 with two of these partnership with the government, one of which I'd like to concentrate on. It's called Badya. Badya is a 12.6 million square meters development that will host around 230,000 people that we're supposed to finish by the year 2034. Now, Badya was the first city in Egypt that follows the UN Sustainable Goals, the SDGs. This development in this part of this land, about 8 years ago or 7 years ago, it connects the west of Cairo to the east of Cairo. About 6-7 years ago, this would have taken 2 hours to go from the west to the east. Now it takes only about 40 minutes, which makes it a much more valuable land. This land, when we started, we used the best technology in the world. We used ASMP, one of the best master planners in Germany. We used Dries and Somers for sustainability, again, a German company. We used McKinsey & Co. to come up with the best, the newest intelligent smart cities technologies available and sustainability available. When we talked about sustainability, we started with the idea of we want sustainable sustainability. In other words, we want to use sustainability that makes life for people better and cheaper at the same time. And we were able to do that by reducing the capex of the people living in that city by roughly 30%. I'll just give two examples because I can stay for 3 days talking. But mainly, each building, the gray water of it is filtered underneath the building, goes back up and used as flush water, which reduces water consumption by 27%. We used specific simulations that during the courtyards that we have, there is a reduction of temperature of anywhere between 2 to 3 degrees Celsius, which again reduces the need for energy that we have. We use very smart systems on infrastructure, reducing the size of infrastructure needed and reducing both the OPEX and the CAPEX on the infrastructure. I think I can stay for a very long time talking about the achievements that we had. One of the things was in urbanization, there is always a very tricky question. Which comes first? Do people invest in housing, or do they invest in amenities, in services, or what have you? And we followed a model called, which is 6+1, which is Badya is 6 districts. Each district is separate, although they're all connected, with one core. And by that, we have every person in anywhere in that city has his daily needs within 5 minutes walk, his weekly needs within 10 minutes, his monthly needs within 15 minutes, and he is close to a green space within 4 minutes walk from his residence. All this took a lot of planning. I think this is the way to go in the future. Sustainability doesn't mean more expensive. Yes, in some cases it does, but in the long term, it reduces the capex for the people living in the city. So I think, again, I want to thank you for giving me this chance.